Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited you are here. Today I'm going to share with you guys a DIY project that I'm working on. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen a lot of the furniture I have been redoing and selling. This is another piece I found. This dining room table is a circle table, and then it has a leaf, and then it came with 4 chairs, and I got it for $40. Now the top is already all done. I have stripped it and sanded it down, and now it's ready to be stained. So I did not film any of that other part because I wasn't going to film this video, but I decided, you know what, I really want to share it. A lot of people have been messaging me asking me why I'm not sharing any of my projects on my YouTube, and mostly because it just takes days to fix up furniture, and it lasts a lot of filming and a lot of storage. If you don't know, I film everything on my phone, so it does take up a lot of space, but I do want to share this one with you. So I'm going to take you along, and we'll probably finish this in maybe like 2 or 3 days. I've already been working on it, like I said, yesterday, and I try to make little mini goals. And we did buy like a little spray hosey thing connection for my husband's like air sprayer, so I think that will really speed along this process. But I hope you enjoyed this video and stick around for the final look.
So this is the product I used to strip the stain and varnish on the top of the table. I also sanded it down, and now I'm applying a stain. I'm using the Minwax Espresso stain. I did 2 coats, so I let one sit, then I wiped it off, and then I put another layer of stain. It did take pretty well, but there was some spots on the top of the table that needed a little bit of extra stain, so that's why I applied 2. So after I wiped off the stain, I'm going to be cleaning the bottom of my table. This is a step you do not want to skip when you are redoing furniture. You want to make sure your project is nice and clean and ready for paint. I'm going to be using a white chalk paint that I got at Walmart. It is the Waverly brand. You'll see it here in a little bit. I'm going to be pouring it in this little cup, and I'm going to add some water to it, and then mix it together. I find that it's easier to use chalk paint when I water it down a little bit. It's easier to work with. It covers way better, and it lasts. It goes longer in terms of how much product I have to use to cover the project that I'm painting. As you can see, the bottom of this table is black, so it took 3 coats to really get good coverage on it. I wasn't planning on distressing it, so I was really meticulous about covering the table really well. But at the end, you'll see that I did end up distressing it. It's just hard for me not to distress pieces because I feel like it just looks so much better. But yes, I ended up doing 3 coats. This is the first coat. You can see it's patchy, but that's totally normal. As you cover it with the second and third coat, it looks really, really nice. It rained the morning I put the 3rd coat on. It is super hot in the garage, but it was a nice break from the heat. Two to 3 coats on each of these chairs. I turned them upside down and tried to get the bottom little parts that I couldn't see, but I think there's areas that need a little bit that I couldn't reach, so they need some more paint, but I'm gonna let them dry. See this one? I haven't done this little section yet, but I always like to flip my furniture over so that you can see areas that you missed. If you turn things upside down, you kind of see the areas that you're missing. This one as well, I need to finish some parts, but overall they look great. Now with the table, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna distress it a little bit. This was black underneath, so I really like it when you distress something and there's a dark color underneath. It looks really nice. Also, I do want to sand the top, give it one sand, and then start applying the polyacrylic to the top. So I'm using 220 grit sandpaper to do the top. I'm just giving it a light sand, and then I'm gonna start top coating it. I ended up doing 3 on the top. That's usually what I do on any top of any surface. I feel like it has great protection with 3 coats, and I sand in between each of the coats as well. This is a little trick I do if I'm not done using the brush. I just put it in a Ziploc bag and it holds, it doesn't get dry and crusty for a couple of days actually. So I do that every time in between brushes or rolling. Now I'm going to be sanding the edges of the seats. I did use the same product that I stripped the top of the table on the seats, but there was some stain still on the side. So I'm just sanding it down and getting it ready for stain. Alright, I finished the top. It's so smooth to the touch. I put 3 coats of polyacrylic. I sanded between each coat, and then this last coat I hand sanded it. I didn't use the orbital sander, just to smooth it out a little bit, and I did a light sand with my hand. I didn't do it super hard, and this is how it turned out. It looks so nice, so nice. And then I have the table bottoms seats done. I put the first coat of acrylic. I'm gonna sand them down and put the second coat. Alright guys, so now I'm going to distress the legs of the table and also the chairs. I'm using 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to use my orbital sander. I'm going to set it at about a 3-4 on the speed so I can have more control. With distressing furniture, there really is no right or wrong way. You just kind of go with where it would naturally lose its paint. But with these chairs, the
legs of the table is a lot of round. It's like, so I kind of trying to make it look natural, if that makes sense. So I did all of the, I did 3 legs. I just need to do 1 more. So let me show you how I do that. Alright, I wanted to show you a quick little trick. I bought this little roller at Walmart for, it was like $2.50, and it came with this little container, and it also came with a fluffy one like for paint. I am using the foam roller that it came with, and I'm going to use it for my top coat. You want your top coat to be nice and smooth. You do sand down, you know, on like these I'm sanding down and stuff, but the legs are hard because of all the curves that the legs have. If you put too much top of this clear coat, especially on white, it turns yellowy because there's so much product on it. So you want to make sure you're doing it lightly. So I'm using this roller. I've already used it on this leg and I really like the way it turned out. So I'm going to do it on this leg so you can kind of see what I mean. We are now bringing in all the furniture into my dining room area. I always say as a tip, if you're trying to sell redone furniture, like refurbished furniture, you need to stage it when you take the picture because it sells better. So I have the chairs. I've moved my stuff into the hall, and we're gonna bring the